Welcome to the BAM blog breakdown where Brian Kaiser and Mike Calderwood, along with sometimes Aaron Zambrano, break down expert business blogs so you can better understand and apply the information to your business and life for real results. Before we get started, we urge you to go over to the YouTube channel, our YouTube channel specifically, and subscribe to the channel there. This will do two things. First, it'll allow you to review not only the blog we're fixing to BAM Slam, but also all the other great blogs that we've enjoyed BAM Slamming in a cool, fun, energetic way. And secondly, it's going to notify you each and every time we add a new episode. So, YouTube thought of everything. It just takes you going over to our channel and hitting the subscribe button to get the notification and the enjoyment from doing so. I'm here today with my BAM partner, Mike Calderwood. Mike, how are you doing this fine morning?
Man, I'm ready to rock and roll. I'm fired up. Just been a great morning, and I'm ready for another great half hour right now of the BAM blog breakdown.
That's awesome. You know, today we're featuring a really cool blog from Bob Burg, and really appreciate Bob and the other bloggers that have let us use their material. But today we're going to be solving their biggest problem. And as I get into my summary of this, I'm going to just ask everybody right off the bat, what is your biggest problem and how can I solve it? I know that's a little presumptuous, but as Bob addresses in this very powerful blog, it takes the bold to be the best. So, in other words, what you're going to have to do is, what value are you or have you added to your business today? Think about that. What value have you added to your business today? To your clients? What value have you added to them? To your prospects? What value have you added to them by asking them this very powerful question? What is your biggest problem and how can I solve it? Really cool blog. You got to get over to bobburg.com. Check it out. It's called Solving Their Biggest Problem. It kicks off right there at the beginning with a really cool plug for Sheryl Sandberg's book, Lean In. And if you don't know who Sheryl Sandberg is, she's the chief operating officer for Facebook. And, she had someone that was wanting to make a move. And another powerful person from a little tiny company called eBay, and that was her opening line to try to get the job is, what is your biggest problem and how can I solve it? So I'll go back and ask, what value are you or have you added to your business today? What have you added to your clients? What have you added to your prospects? I was recently asked by a friend who was looking to hire me, have you helped anybody in this business or this industry? And I answered him, no one of note. I've helped people, but no one of note. And he kind of looked at me kind of puzzled, like, well, then why should I hire you? And I said, because I said that I haven't helped someone in this business or industry to get to where you're going, but I did solve their biggest problem. And I've done so for probably thousands of people in your industry and other industries and in sports and everything else. So that is really the key question from when you're asking your coach, isn't it? Can they solve your biggest problem? Because that's going to do what? Move you forward. So as Bob very uniquely guides us through this blog post, he piques our thinking by asking the question I opened with. And, it's good for you and your entire business to be awesome and great at solving problems that are worth solving for your client, as well as for your companies and the companies that you're serving. So, by doing that little thing, solving their biggest problem, you exponentially increase your market value. And for people that don't know what market value is, that is the rate at which you are paid on an hourly basis. If you broke it down, what is your market value? And you can increase it by helping your clients and your customers solve their biggest problem, not trying to sell them on something that it's going to help them, but it's not their biggest problem. It's not their best solution. So Mike, that's kind of my summary. This was an awesome blog. I love the way he focused on that specific question. Everything in the blog takes us back to that question and how people have used that to advance their life, their career, and their relationships. by asking that question to themselves and to their partners. So, I'm going to have to pass it to you, my friend, and say, what problem are you focused on solving in the marketplace?
Brian, before I answer that question, I got two things I want to say. One, great summary. And I want people to think about a couple things here. Actually, before we start that, I also want everybody to know, and I'm going to throw our tech guy right under the bus. Our video is not working properly today, so if we get a little hung up on the video or you see my hand reaching up to manually switch it, I'm throwing our tech guy right under the – oh, hold on a second. I'm the tech guy. Oh, man. Okay, so my biggest problem right now, Brian, is that I got to switch the video manually, but I'm not sure I'm going to solve that during the show, but I'm going to certainly solve it after the show. No, seriously, to answer your question, what problem are you focused on solving in the marketplace? Really, I want to go to your summary real quick and just remind the people that Brian did say in your business too, right? As a business owner, it's your responsibility to be a problem solver. If you're leading your business to the next level, you've got to be able to solve problems in your own business as well. So what's the biggest problem you're having? And if you can't solve it, it's your job to have the resources to get somebody to help you solve it. Okay, so I just want to throw that out there because I think it's an important factor that from a marketplace standpoint, we need to be solving a problem. But we also have challenges in our own business that need to be solved as well. How are you doing that? The next thing I want to touch on that you talked about, and this is, I think, the biggest key, because as we go through this, Brian, and we get into the 3 keys and we get into the application, I don't want people to think that they should try to manufacture a problem and a solution, because that will not raise your market value. It will not raise your market value, okay? So now I'm going to actually answer your question. I do apologize. It took me so long to get there. What problem are you focused on solving in the marketplace is what you asked me. Mm-hmm. For me, one of the problems, and there's a few, but I thought I'd talk about this one, is applicable content in coaching. And what I mean by that is there's a lot of theoretical content in coaching out there. We are in the midst of the information age. There's more information than ever. If you've been watching BAM, we've been talking a lot about simplifying, not complicating. But it seems that the more and more content that gets produced, the more complicated people seem to make it. Because really, when you look back in the history of business building principles, things like that, nothing's changed. So we can't just all just straight plagiarize. So we're always coming up with new spins and new ideas and new thoughts that all lead back to those core principles. And over time, it complicates it, right? And when things get complicated, they become less applicable.
Right.
Complexity is the enemy of execution. Period. Right? So what I like to do is take content in coaching, in theory, and simplify it so that people can actually apply it. I meet people all the time that have been through coaching programs. They've been to weekend seminars. They've been through long-term programs, short-term programs, self-study programs, coach-guided programs, mentor-guided programs, facilitated programs, program, and they're not getting the results that they want because they don't know how to implement any of it. Application is key. And so my marketplace solution is applicable content and coaching. And Brian, isn't that what BAM is all about?
That's what BAM is all about.
Yeah, it's taking these blogs and simplifying them for an applicable outlook, right? So that's where I'm at there.
And letting people know how we actually apply this information in our daily lives and our businesses.
Absolutely. So there's my answer to your question.
Excellent. So Mike, as we get into this next segment here with the 3 keys, let's see. Yeah, let's see.
Oh, that's me, isn't it?
That is actually you today.
See, I'm so focused on this.
You're focused on the technical, and I'm sitting there going, "Wait, did I write these? What did I mean by that?" So yeah, that's you today.
All right, now back to you, Mike. Okay, sorry about that, folks. For the listeners, yeah, we are professional grade. Technology grade, we are rocking the house today. I love it. Brian?
We're having fun.
I am having fun. So as we do each week, we have the Brian Kaiser's 3 keys to the blog, and we alternate on the delivery of this, and today it's me. So Brian Kaiser's 3 keys to the blog. My very first key, Brian, was when we try to solve a problem, there's a lot of people trying to solve the same problem that you're trying to solve. Okay. So, and let me give you an example. How many sales coaches are there out there, right? You have a problem. You're not good at sales. You need a sales coach. There's a lot of people trying to solve that problem, right? So the very first key point for me was stand apart from the pack. You've got to differentiate. Let me explain. There's just a little bit. Lori from eBay contacted Cheryl from Facebook, and here's what she said. Brian gave you the meat and potato of, I want to solve what's your biggest problem and how can I solve it? But prior to that, leading up to that, she says, I want to apply for work with you at Facebook, but I thought about calling you and telling you all the things I'm good at, but I figured that's what everybody else was doing. See, she differentiated. She took a different approach. She didn't go the regular route of, I'm going to fax you over a resume, and here's all the great things about me and why I'd be a good team member for you. She took a completely different approach that stood out. Cheryl even comments on it that in her thousands of hirees over her years in leadership positions, she'd never had anybody take that approach before. How are you differentiating? This isn't about getting a job. It's not about running your business. No matter how you look at this, what you're doing is what we're talking about is any situation where you're selling yourself. How can you differentiate? Any situation where you're marketing yourself. How can you differentiate? By asking questions like that. The second key point, Brian, is that you are in sales. I don't care who you are or what you're doing. If you're courting a lady right now, you're in sales, buddy. And you got to close the deal sometime. If you're trying to influence your kids to behave a certain way or take on a certain task that may not be that interesting to them, you got some selling to do. Right? Brian, when I talked to you about the concept of BAM, what did I do? I sold you on an idea. Mm-hmm. And then you brought your interests to the table and your ideas to the table, and you sold me on your ideas. And together we discovered and created a platform. Right? So wherever you're at, whatever you're doing, day to day, could be just, you're out with some friends and you got to decide on pizza or Chinese food. You're selling. Okay, whenever a decision needs to be made, the sales process is engaged. So just remember this. You're in sales, and if you're going to solve a problem for people, you've got to sell your solution. Okay, third point, and I kind of brought this up already. You can't manufacture a problem and manufacture a solution. Okay, it's got to be, and I love it. Brian Kaiser says it all the time. I don't know if you guys know Brian Kaiser, but he says this all the time. It's got to be a problem worth solving. Okay, I watch Shark Tank. I'm a Shark Tank junkie. Me and my son are absolute Shark Tank junkies, okay? Favorite sharks are, I'm kind of hung up between Mark Cuban and Robert. Those are my two favorite sharks. I kind of sway back and forth between those two, but two great guys. But what I find interesting is, you watch all these people come on and pitch their products and services, and there's been several episodes where the people did not get a investor from the Shark Tank because they didn't have a problem worth solving. And let me kind of explain that a little bit further. A lot of times the sharks will invest in the people or the idea. They'll invest into the technology. But I've watched several episodes, and go back and watch the episodes. You'll see where they've gone, man, I like you and I like the idea. I just don't think that you're truly solving a problem. I'm out. Right? These people came up with a problem. Maybe they had a problem and their solution came up because of that. And they just figured, well, if I've had this problem, this is a worldly problem. Not necessarily true. And how do we know in business if we're solving a problem worth solving? We've got to do market testing. We've got to go out and know for sure that people are actually having this problem. Brian, those are my 3 keys to the blog. And I was looking at your notes. I am excited about your delivery of these applications. So let's head into the next segment.
It's always for our viewers and our listeners, it's always fun. Mike and I do these show notes, and we do them in Evernote. We keep a running note of all the blogs and all that stuff, and we write them separately. We never talk about the blogs beforehand, whatever. So it's really cool. But it's fun to go back and read the notes after, while we're doing the show or right before, and find out how well we flow. Because today's Mike Calderwood Coaching Advantage application, we did this. We just did this. We're in the process of going through this as we speak here at Growth Coaching Systems. Okay, we took the time to once again, with our coach, go back and review who our target audience is. Look at what we do best here at Growth Coaching Systems. And once again, now we've done this, we must have done this 100 times if we've done it once, but once again, we went in and we defined the one problem that was worth solving for our target audience with what we do best here. And if it's something that fell outside of those parameters, we don't do it. So the clarity and the focus on solving one problem is crucial to success. I mean, what is the one question that was asked at the beginning of the blog? What is your biggest problem? They didn't ask problems. They made it specific to one problem. Lori Gohler asked Sheryl Sandberg, what is your biggest problem? Only one. If she could solve that one, then she could add value to Facebook. She could add value to being on Sheryl's team, and she could add value to the market with her knowledge and skill to solve that big problem.
And raise her own market value for future.
Correct. Very correct. So I submit that as business owners and entrepreneurs, it's critical to have the right coach. Okay, say that again. It is critical to have the right coach so you can dig down and dig down and dig down and clearly define the one problem, the biggest problem facing your target audience, and focus on solving it better than anyone else. So, Mike, how did you make good use of all this?
So, Brian, I want to, as I switch the camera over here, I want to touch on a couple things you said, and then I'm going to tell you how I made use of it.
Excellent.
When you said, getting the right coach, and then all your application there, folks, it's important that you use this knowledge that we've given you today about solving their biggest problems to make some decisions for yourself. Let me give you an example. If you are in need of client acquisition, right? Marketing, sales, customer service, referrals, that type of stuff. And you go online and you find 8 or 10 business coaches. And business coach A specializes in specializes in processes. And you sit down with him, and all over his website it says, I can help you with your processes, automating your business, all this. And he says, I can help you. You didn't don't hire him. He is not solving the problem that you have. It doesn't make him bad at what he does, but if he says he can help you, but he markets himself as a different type of strategist, you've got to use this knowledge to help you make good, quality, clear decisions. And that actually brings me to another thing that you said, and then I'll get to your question. You said that now that you've reviewed your target audience well, and the one thing that you at Growth Coaching Systems do best, all others can walk away, right? You guys can clearly say, no, we can't help you with that, right? Let's see if we can help you find a coach for those next steps, because that is not what we specialize in, right?
Correct.
Okay, that decision is easy for you because you're clear on who you are up front. So when you, as a business owner, have clarity, one of the biggest problems I see people have is decision making. Small business owners are making decisions all the time throughout the day. Boom, 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 boom. They're constantly making decisions, right? So if you're clear, real clear on what you do and who you help and how you help and what you do best, decision making becomes easy in that realm.
Exactly.
Okay. You asked, Mike, how did I make good use of this? It made me revisit and make sure that I am aligned with my core focus, my core message, and my approach.
Nice.
And I'm not going to elaborate on that. If you want to, you can, but that is as cut and dry as I can make it.
That's pretty simple.
Yep. Agreed.
Pretty simple. I mean, wow. Yeah, we crushed another one. Nicely done, sir. Leave it with three simple focuses there. Core focus, message, and approach. Pretty much sums it up. So, with and going through this blog, Mike, I just have to ask, what did I learn?
Brian, today you learned you will fulfill your purpose when you provide exceptional value to the marketplace by solving a problem for your target market.
Excellent.
What did I learn, Brian?
Today you learned that it's about solving one problem for your target audience. One, their biggest one. Figure out what their biggest problem is. Ask them the Lori Gohler question. We'll just give her a question. Look, we just gave her a question on BAM. We just named it after her. What is your biggest
problem? The Lori Gohler question.
The Lori Gohler question. What is your biggest problem and how can I solve it? Ask that to your target audience.
You've been Gohlered.
And sir, I think that is pretty much that's the BAM Slam right there.
I love it.
Sums it up. So, this has been another home run breakdown where I, Brian Kaiser, along with the BAM partner, Mr. Mike Calderwood, have broke down an expert blog so that you can better understand and apply this information to your business and your life for real results. You can look forward to new editions of the BAM blog breakdown each and every Monday and Thursday at 11:30 a.m. Central Standard Time. Make sure you go over to our YouTube channel and subscribe. So right now, go over there, subscribe. And all the links to today's show will be listed underneath the video. And we also put this up on our Spreaker channels as a replay for everyone that missed it and can't get over to YouTube and watch it, which is very sad since you need to go there right now and subscribe. So if you like what you heard and you feel you need further assistance, maybe you would like to get with Bob Berg and his team there and see if they can help you. It's very simple. Contact Mike or I. We'll make a personal and professional introduction for you, and we'll get you to who you need. Very simple. Now, remember, if you're searching for a coach, you need professional, video work, some automation work, having significant marketing or messaging issues, Mike and I are both here to serve. We're not going to say that we're the guys, but we are here to serve, and we will get you to your best next step. So as we leave this BAM Slam, we're going to be asking you, how can we help you? How can we help you? With that, we'll see you next time. I'm out.
We're out.